Welcome to the Fantasy Cookout! With your boys. Live. Mr. Trade for yourself. Check them out every day on all social media platforms. YouTube, IG, Instagram. I just said IG and Instagram. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Go check your boy out. Boys making plays. Talking about all of these things on this AI run right now. Very interesting.
Fact, man. That's a fact. Check me out, man, on YouTube, man. Look, man, I got some existing trades right now. In my last episode I talked about, please go check out my last episode on the trade. Okay, check the trades out, please.
Hey, because he goes to the stock market like this.
Give me my money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. And it's me. This is that Summer Feelings, always bringing you all the knowledge about fantasy football, keeping you up to date. Hey, get closer and closer to the start of the season. Teams are starting to shake up a little bit. We got your latest fantasy update news. We'll keep you abreast about all things going on in the NFL so you can make the best fantasy choices for your draft coming up. And I want you to be able to talk shit the whole year to everybody on your league. And last but not least, we'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed and tunes into the Fantasy Cookout. We wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you for listening to this knowledge. Comment on our pages. Hey, if you got comments, I will answer back. This is what I do. I'll give you my opinion based off of what knowledge I have. And hey, I just want you to win. That's all I want you to do is win. That's all we're trying to get out is W's.
Oh, yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
So keep tuning in and checking us out. All right. So for the first segment, like I said, we're starting up a new thing, the fantasy update. You know, I'll give you the
all rise.
That's how we usually start the first segment out. But the fantasy update, we're going to go down and talk about some recent news from this past week in fantasy. All right. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Cowboys' Tony Pollard. You know, at the end of the season last year, Tony Pollard hurt his ankle and leg. You know, he broke them. So right now he's ahead of schedule with his rehab and believes he will be ready for the start of the regular season. Now, my opinion is, with this news about his ankle injury and his recovery, what tier is Tony Pollard rated?
I would have Tony Pollard as a mid-tier back, maybe a high, like right above that mid-tier back level is kind of where I would have him. You know, he did pretty good. You know, historically over the years, he's been a spell back for Zeke. He's been a spell back, but last year he actually took a lot more carries, and he actually got, you know, more fantasy points because Zeke was pretty pedestrian from a fantasy perspective. So I would consider him a mid-tier back right now.
Okay, so first tier, second tier, third tier.
So, you know, last week we talked about quarterback tiers, and we had, you know, 1 through 7.
Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing.
I would consider him probably somewhere around the fourth tier. The fourth tier is where I would have him.
Woo! Hot take. Even with a starter, he coming in hot, guys. Fourth tier, man. Woo. I would be a little bit more lenient towards him. I'm not gonna lie. I would probably give him a tier 3. I give him a top tier 3. You know, we're gonna do this whole tier system, and in a later segment, we're gonna talk about our top PPR running backs in the tier segment. So right now, we're already gonna put Tony Pollard. We got a little conflict right now, 3 and 4. I can lean at the bottom of the 3. You know, if I give him tier 3. So
yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to slight Tony Pollard in any way. It's just when you think about the running backs, I'm just like, I mean, I wouldn't consider him a top tier. I wouldn't consider him a bottom tier. He'd
Yeah.
be somewhere in the middle. It's kind of where I see him.
Okay. Fair. All right. Let me see something. I'm trying to. I think I accidentally deleted my show notes. Oh, no, I didn't. All right. And so, what round would you draft him in, knowing that?
I would probably draft him somewhere around the. He would probably be somewhere around maybe the 7th round for me.
Okay.
On the 7th.
7th round for a starting running back?
I mean, look, guys. Full disclosure, I'm not the best at like, I'm not the best at like identifying what round I would take a player.
Okay.
I'll tell you, how I feel about the player if I think he's a top tier player. I mean, look, there's a lot of running back players. There's a lot of running backs I would take over Pollard. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect you, Pollard. Like you're a starter, bro. I'm just not gonna say there's a lot of backs I would take. Like, you're not McCaffrey, you're not Eckler, you're not Cook. I mean, you're not a healthy Breece Hall. I mean, you're not Kenneth Walker III. You're not. I mean, that's 5 backs right there, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would go down the list. That's just me.
Hey, I like a man that sticks to his guns. I'll give you appreciation for that. All right. Next topic. We're going down for the fantasy update. Panthers wide receiver DJ Chark. He had an ankle injury. Is scheduled to participate in team drills on Friday. So we know about DJ Chark. He was on Detroit. He was with Detroit last year, right? And he also spent some time at Jacksonville. Or was it somebody else I'm thinking about? I think he played for the Lions.
I think he was with Detroit last year. And
yeah.
Jacksonville, maybe a couple years ago. He was with them.
So, with DJ Chark, do you think he can have a productive season with Bryce Young? And will he be the wide receiver 1 over Thielen?
I think that he can have a productive season. I honestly don't think that Adam Thielen will be the wide receiver 1. I just don't. I mean, I would be shocked if he was the wide receiver 1. I would feel bad for Bryce Young if Adam Thielen was his wide receiver 1 and that was the guy that he has to depend on. Chark has a lot of talent. He has a lot of talent. He has a lot of raw talent. We've seen him do well. Like, he did pretty well in Jacksonville. Like, he was a pretty good receiver in Jacksonville. So I think that Chark can definitely do well in Carolina and give Bryce a quality target that he needs going into his first year.
Okay. I know you looking at Adam Thielen when you go to the draft this fall. You're gonna be like,
man,
wait a minute. Who are you?
yeah. And to keep everybody abreast, Adam Thielen is on Vaughn's never draft again list. Just to let y'all know.
Yeah, never again, man. Never again.
Yeah, he said he ain't got this in him. Adam Thielen ain't got the dog in him no more.
No, guys. Hey, man, there's a bad regression, guys. I just look, guys. I've seen the videos on social media. That means nothing to me. I don't care.
He said the videos on social media is like CNBC right now. It don't mean jack shit to what the market's actually doing.
Doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter.
Fair. All right. I kind of agree with you, DJ Chark. I mean, he's a mid-tier wide receiver. He can He could be the second or third man on the team to get targets. But I do think he has a little bit of leg over Adam Thielen, just from his raw talent aspect. I just think Adam Thielen, gave it all out in his last 2 years before Jefferson got there, when he was actually with Stephon Diggs in Minnesota. You hadn't seen those Thielen numbers since Diggs left, and you would think they would have exploded, right? Doubt they would have been the opposite way around when Diggs left and went to Buffalo, but that's not the case. So I think he's just, Father Time just caught up with him, and I don't think Adam Thielen is just that not that guy anymore. Just not that dude.
Yeah,
and that's okay. It's okay as long as he knows that too. All right, next topic. Recently released wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins is considered a long shot for the Buffalo Bills, but he has considered going with the Texans, and he's in a race to be with the Chiefs. Now, I said my piece about it in my short during the week. I think it was about last week when I brought up about DeAndre Hopkins getting released. I want to know your opinion, Vaughn. Which team would benefit the most with the addition of Hopkins? And I think I know where you're going to go with this, but I'm going to let you speak.
Guys, the Kansas City Chiefs would benefit a lot with DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion, is still a quality wide receiver in this league. He is still a quality wide receiver in this league. And we were talking about last week about Patrick Mahomes, right? As long as Patrick Mahomes is on your team, you got a chance to go to the Super Bowl, right? Regardless of who's out there, right? The nobodies that we call them on the outside, right? The nobodies except for Travis Kelce, right? You know what I mean? You add DeAndre Hopkins to the mix, it's gonna make that team very dangerous, man. Like,
they're gonna be a problem. Like,
very, very dangerous. They're already going into they're probably already going into this season as the favorite.
Of course.
You add DeAndre Hopkins, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do on the defensive side?
Hey, it's over. It's over. You'll have Travis Kelce all the way open, and defenses are gonna scheme to double up on him. You leave Hopkins open, bruh. He still got them jets in his feet. He gonna burn them. Like, if I was to draft Hopkins in my draft, if he gets with the Chiefs, he's at least third round, low second round, third round.
Oh man, you think that really puts him as like that high caliber?
Think about it. When Mahomes had a quality wide receiver like Tyreek Hill, what did Tyreek Hill do?
Hey,
he caused problems. He caused problems on everybody's fantasy league. People probably sleep on Hopkins because he's 10 years, then 10 years in the league. That man still got the Jets, man. And he could be like Randy Moss with Tom Brady when Randy Moss went to the Patriots that year. You remember that year, right?
Yeah, I do.
They went undefeated except for the Super Bowl. I think Hopkins could do the same thing if he went to Kansas City. With the Bills, it'll be terrible. It'd be terrible. Like, Josh Allen is not as prolific passer as Pat Mahomes. So I wouldn't see a target rate that he would get like he would get in Kansas City. Plus, you got Stephon Diggs already there. So he's going to eat up a large percentage of the target share because he is that guy. Stephon Diggs is that guy in Buffalo. And then you also talk about Texans. Nah, I don't think he'd be good there because he's a young quarterback. He's going to be figuring out his stride. Unless he's a next Pat Mahomes level kind of quarterback. You know how Pat Mahomes just jumped on the scene and just started showing out once Alex Smith went down. I don't think CJ Stroud is that. But Kansas City him with Kansas City would be, I'm just going to say it like this. Him with Kansas City would be this.
Game over.
Instant. AFC champions. Instant. Instant. But we'll see what happens. All right. And then let's go down to the next thing. The Jets running back, Breece Hall, will likely be ready to start week 1, according to his head coach. What tier running back is Breece Hall?
I would put Breece Hall, man. Man, if he was just healthy, man. If he was healthy last year, man, we'd be talking about Breece Hall very high. Me personally, man, I'm very high on Breece Hall. I consider him solidly in that second tier. Solidly in that second tier is where I consider Breece Hall.
Because Breece Hall got this.
100%.
He's still young. He's a young buck. He still got that in him still. All right. I can agree with that. I'm taking notes over here because we're gonna be looking at the running back tiers. So I'm keeping track. So we already kind of chose Breece Hall, tier 2. I can live with that. Let me save this real quick. All right. And on the next note, what would you draft Breece Hall?
Breece Hall, I'd probably have him around. When I look at Breece Hall, man, I'd probably be thinking about him maybe around that 4th round.
Okay.
That 4th round. Kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing you have to worry about is him re-injuring himself. So as long as he's healed up, because he had an ACL tear, I think, right?
Yeah, torn ACL.
Yeah, so I mean, typically people can come back from that, without too much of a hiccup. And him having Aaron Rodgers, I mean, Aaron Rodgers' history, I guess he does throws the running backs a little bit, but not as like a consistent. He more aims towards his key wide receivers. So I could feel like he'll be aiming for Lazard and Garrett Wilson a lot. But it will be nice to have that safety valve in Breece Hall. I'm only thinking about it in PPR terms. Him having that safety valve in Breece Hall if he's healthy. And there ain't much competition that's like we already talked about. Michael Carter. I'm like this. Donovan Knight. I mean, he did his work, but
No, man. No.
Yeah. I'm disrespecting.
Zonovan Knight does not deserve that. Okay, Zonovan Knight came in and did the best that he could. Michael Carter is the one that deserves it. I'm surprised Michael Carter still has a roster spot. Like, why does he still have a roster spot right now? That's what I'm trying to understand.
He said, Michael Carter, why are you still in the league?
Exactly. Zonovan Knight, a rookie, came in and did more damage than you, man. Like, come on. Seriously. Like look at the statistics now. Look at the stats. The Zonovan Knight was in and Michael Carter was in the same games they played. Who did better?
Zonovan Knight.
Come on, man. Zonovan Knight, man. I'm not saying that you're a starter, and I'm not saying that you're going to take Breece Hall's spot. But you took Michael Carter's spot or whatever spot he had.
Yeah, fair. All right. Let's go down to the next thing. Jimmy G is in trouble, guys. Jimmy G is in trouble. It looks like the Raiders' Jimmy G, he has a foot injury, can be released without penalty due to a clause in his contract that stipulates his $11.25 million signing bonus would be transitioned to his base salary if his 2022 foot injury kept him from passing the team's physical. Also, his contract notes he will not see any of his expected $22.5 million base salary until he passes that damn physical. Boy, is Jimmy G in some trouble? I'm like this. Woo! I know he praying right now. that foot is miraculously healed. But if Jimmy G can't play, who's the better backup option for the Raiders? And it's not really good. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You got Brian Hoyer or the rookie Aiden O'Connell from Purdue.
What I would do is if I did not have Jimmy G and those were my two guys going into the season, I'd probably trot Brian Hoyer out there in week 1, maybe week 2, but I'd definitely be bringing my rookie on in, after a few games. I wouldn't. I mean, I could put my rookie out there in week 1, but I just don't feel like he's ready. I don't feel like he's ready. When he got drafted, when he got drafted for the NFL draft, he did not think he was going to be starting week 1. He did not. he did not think that. I know he did. So I would just, put Hoyer out there, make sure he's getting second team reps, make sure he's getting a lot of reps in the preseason, work him in. But Hoyer will be my starter going into the season, and then I'll work, my rookie in.
Yeah, Aiden O'Connell's like this. He like, you sure you talking about me? And then he go hit this.
Well, what had happened was
when he tried to find his way out of being a starter. Oh shit. Oh man. But yeah, I mean that would be probably the best bet because Brian Hoyer is just a journeyman at this point. He's not gonna make any kind of impact, that's gonna be of significance. He's just there to collect the check, which I'm always about people who are about this life.
Give me my money.
Keep collecting them checks as long as these teams keep giving them out. Hey, so you can't get another check. Take all of their money. But I feel like the season's already over for the Raiders if Jimmy G can't play. Do you think so?
100%. 100%. The one question that we need to ask is this though: what percentage reduction in fantasy value from the Raiders skill players would you think about without a quality quarterback? Like, would you think twice about drafting anybody on the Raiders?
Yes, because if they don't have an actual skilled quarterback who can throw, you take out Davante Adams. I mean, his production is going to be pretty low. Teams are just going to double team him most of the season. If you have a quarterback who can't throw and is inaccurate, they're going to know you're going to try to pass a lot too. So they're going to load it up at the front. And so that could work against Josh Jacobs' production right there. So you got those are the two tops. I mean, I don't know anybody else. I mean, you can get away with what's his name? Hunter Renfrow. But I mean, he's a PPR magnet. Don't get me wrong. He'll probably be the best bet because he'll get a lot of catches from the short target. He's a slot receiver. He's just going to catch a lot of quick passes. And that's going to give you your PPR points that you need. But other than that, like, I would drop Davante Adams down at least a tier. And same for Josh Jacobs. At least a tier. It could be worse. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. We've seen teams who have like very poor quarterback play with very good running backs, and they don't do as well. I mean, it's just the running backs, they can get all the touches in the world, but teams are already like schemed and ready for them because they know that the quarterback can't throw. So they know how to anticipate what he's going to do.
So do you think that the gamblers will be looking to exploit the Raiders defense in a lot of games, that they'll be looking to take pretty much every team that's not the Raiders? Is that pretty much what we're talking about this year and this season?
Yeah. I would. If I was a gambling man, which I'm sort of am, but yeah, I would, yeah. Take the Raiders defense would be whoever's playing against the Raiders, you just get ready to get your lottery ticket that day with your skill players. That's what I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. and don't mean shit because opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. All right. Moving on. Topic number 2. PPR running back tier rankings. So this is what we kind of been talking about. Wonder how this is. Let's see if I can present. I'm gonna share this window. Oh yeah, I can. I got you. All right. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. So these are from the score. These are all the PPR running back tier rankings right now. And we're going to have a little exercise of us playing both of these. How am I going to do this? I kind of want to have both screens up. I got you. Give me a second, guys. The engineering mind is working.
Look, man, this mess. Look, man, what you done showed me already, man. I'm just like, what? We'll get into it, man. We'll get into it, y'all. Man, this is ridiculous. Like, what? These people, man.
Hey,
y'all need to hire me. Y'all need to hire me to do this.
Oh,
y'all need to hire me to do this stuff, man. Come on.
Vaughn is disagreeing already. Vaughn is like this, man.
Damn.
But that's fair. That's fair. I don't think it's gonna let me. Man. I'm gonna have to do it just like, all right. Do you have it up on your screen? Did you copy the link that I sent?
I don't have the link on my screen.
All right. Well, in the show notes.
Let me see. Hold on.
I should have included it in the show notes. Because I kind of want to walk through as we go through the tiers. Because I can't really bring up both of the things at once on the screen.
Okay.
Do you see the link in the show notes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, copy it over and then they'll bring up that list. So we can kind of walk through.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
All right. So yeah. All right. So since Vaughn disagrees so much with these these rankings, we're making our own rankings tonight. Hey, round of applause for that. Okay, because we think for ourselves, man. We take the information and we make our own judgments based off of the information given. So, number 1, PPR fantasy running back for the 2023 season, according to the score. Christian McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, that's a pretty high ranking. And he's been in that position before. I am a little gun shy with Christian McCaffrey because I have felt the burn of him getting hurt in the first 2 to 3 games of the season and destroy my whole fantasy season because I drafted him with my first pick. Now, I'm going to put Christian McCaffrey personally, to me.
Danger.
He's in the danger zone. I'm putting him at tier 2. That's just me. I don't trust him. Especially we got Elijah Mitchell there to get receptions because part of my thinking with tiers is how much production they're going to get. And as we saw towards the end of the season, we saw that he couldn't carry a whole workload. True?
I disagree. I disagree.
Hey, you're going to put him in tier 1. That's fine.
The one thing is, man, look, McCaffrey has shown that has shown that he can stay healthy, man. And we saw what he was doing in that San Francisco offense, man. We saw what he was doing, and they didn't even have a full season. Like if he had a full season with San Francisco, I'm telling you, man, like McCaffrey has to be a tier 1 back, man. I don't know how he's not. I mean, the stats proved it. I mean,
I don't trust him. Maybe I'm putting a little bit of emotion in this.
Yeah, I think you put a little bit more feelings than the stats. I think a little bit more.
Oh, guys, I'm gonna get so much slack. So much slack. I mean, that's what people will be like. Who the you think you are for Chris McCaffrey? Look, I've been there, done that. There's certain players I just cannot draft at a certain position anymore from trauma. I've suffered from PTSD. That that was me that season when shit hit the fan. So yes, maybe I'm a little butthurt. Whatever. My rankings. I'll do whatever I want. But I just don't think. Yeah, I just don't think he can handle a full workload. I just don't. I can't. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, the numbers. I'm gonna go review the numbers. I saw Elijah Mitchell a lot more than I would like to see. If you're gonna be a tier 1, you got to be like a tier 1 like Derrick Henry, or like the next guy I'm about to bring up, Austin Eckler. Now he is a guaranteed tier 1. Like there's no other running backs there in the Chargers who can replace him. True.
100%, man. Austin Eckler. I mean, if you're going up against him, oh, you're gonna be in for a war to hurt. You do not want to see yourself going up against Austin Eckler in the season, because you're gonna have issues. Like it's almost to the point to where Eckler is like he might be getting 2 touchdowns. Like you could pretty much almost guarantee he'll get 2 touchdowns a game. Like that's just how powerful the dude is.
And you're gonna get your PPR points because he is a true pass catching running back. Like with his size, he is not a ground and pound type of guy. He can go up the middle, but he preferred to be a pass catcher. And that's where he gets a lot of his bread and butter from. If I had a choice, if I had the first pick, it would be Austin Eckler.
And when you and also when you have mediocrity at the wide receiver position as the Chargers do, okay, that kind of lets you know that kind of lets you know what we're talking about here. That kind of bolsters up his value. It bolsters up his value at that point.
Fair. All right. Next on the list, and I cannot believe this shit. Somebody should slap them. I'm like this. Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons. Number 3. This dude hadn't even played a snap. I get it. Has he fully taken over the running back position there? It's what's his name?
Tyler Algier?
Tyler Algier, and you got
Cordell Patterson.
Cordell Patterson. Are they gone? I mean, like, what are they? Are they just disappeared? Has Cordell Patterson become a wide receiver again? Is that what you're telling me? Because to have him number 3 is a little bit blasphemous for me. I would have him maybe in a tier 3 ranking, maybe tier 4, because I don't even know what he can do. I mean, yeah, he played well in college, but will it translate over to the league? And with a sorry Falcons team to add on top of that, I'm going to put him at tier 4. And maybe it's disrespectful, but I can't place a rookie that high. Thoughts?
The highest I would have him, man, would be tier 4. Okay, he hasn't played it down, guys. You see, this is my problem with these folks. You try to put all these rookies so high, they haven't played it down.
I mean, what has he done? Like, literally, what has he done?
Bijan Robinson was a good running back for the University of Texas.
Yep.
Hey, the University of Texas in the Big 12, guys. We're talking about the NFL here. You're playing for the Atlanta Falcons, okay? like, come on, like you have this. You see, this is my problem, man. You've got this guy rated higher than other people that we know are going to produce. We know that the guys are going to produce, and you have them rated higher than them.
Like, you have them higher rated than Saquon, who's next on the list. Saquon Barkley.
Like, give me a break, guys.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they drinking the Kool-Aid over there, man. I am definitely in agreement with you. Tier 4 is a good level for Bijan, you know. But we shall see what happens. Maybe we're wrong. I doubt it. All right. Next, Saquon Barkley. Obviously, I'm going to put him as a tier 1. I mean, Saquon has proven himself to recover from the injury. I thought he was going to be a complete flop. I didn't think he was going to live up to the hype. But it looks like in this past season, he's starting to get his wheels, and he lasted the whole season. That was the biggest thing. Like, he had lasted an entire season, kept his health up, produced great fantasy numbers. I mean, yeah, I think tier 1 is good for him. I'm just gonna say that. Vaughn, you got what's your thoughts?
I would have Saquon in that tier 1 slot. Saquon Barkley is everything for the New York Giants. Everything.
Not Daniel Jones.
Look, the New York Giants. The New York Giants talk to Saquon, and they tell Saquon, "Look, you are my everything." Okay, everything. Okay, that's what Saquon is to the Giants. So I mean, like you said, man, he came back. You know, he came back, and he was a good fantasy guy. You know, played well in crunch time. You know, like he did everything that you would really want a back of his caliber to do. So yeah, he's definitely, you know, right there in that that top tier, 100%.
All right. And just to let y'all know, because I'm Mr. Stats, we see the jump from his 2020 season when he got injured. You know, he only played 2 games that season, you know, averaging 4.7 fantasy points. But his highest fantasy production was in this 2018 season when he got 18.4 fantasy points. And I'm in the wrong one. I should be talking about PPR. He got 24.1 fantasy points in PPR in 2018. And in this past season, he got 17.8. But his lowest was right at his injury point, you know, the 7.7 fantasy points per game. But now he's at, in 2021, he got 11.4 fantasy points per game. So you're starting to see a progression going back up because he's staying healthy. He's staying on the field. He's getting his touches. I mean, he had over a 1,300-yard season on the ground. Pretty impressive. So round of applause to Saquon. In the top tier. All right. Next on the list, and we're only going to go to the top 20 for time's sake. We'll adjust it. But Jonathan Taylor, think he's going to have a bounce back here?
I'd probably have Taylor in that second tier. I'd probably have him in that second tier.
Hey, round of applause for that.
I think he will bounce back. To be honest, man, I mean, the atrocity that went on with the Indianapolis Colts last year, I mean, it can really only get better. I mean, it really can't get any worse.
Can it?
It can't. Look, guys, it can't. Look, I'm on record saying it cannot get any worse, man. It can't get any worse. Specifically for this guy right here. So I mean, you know, he's a second tier back, man. You know, he can definitely put up those fantasy numbers. If you've got him on your team, you're probably going to be scared drafting him. You probably are. I'm not going to lie. You're probably going to be scared drafting him. But I think when it's all said and done, you'll be happy that you drafted him.
Whew. I mean, I'm in mixed feelings because, you know, at some points last year I was thinking he's gonna have a bounce back. You know, those stocks that go down so much and you like, this is as low as it can go. But then it goes lower. That was Jonathan Taylor last year. I thought he was gonna come back, but injury plagued him. He was never the same. You know, the Colts with their coaching debacle, you know, putting Jeff Saturday in there, which is atrocity to coaching in the NFL. And we talked about that last season. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, even his points, I mean, like, he dropped down so far. He went from 21.9 fantasy points per game in PPR in 2021 to 13.3 last season. That's a big drop off. So if the Colts are competent enough, if Anthony Richardson can be somewhat of a decent game manager and get used to the gameplay, I think he can probably average around 16 to 17 fantasy points per game, which is pretty solid. I think he can get back to his 2020 numbers, which was 16.9 fantasy points a game. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to take a competent quarterback and coaching to get him there. If he doesn't have that, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. All right. Shit. We might do just the top 10 and then might hit the other ones later. Jonathan Taylor, we talked about him. Josh Jacobs. Now, I just talked about this with me. If Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't play, I'm putting him down to a tier 2 with the disrespect. People might be like this. But yeah, he did great last season. He had 2,000 all-purpose yards last season. Amazing player. 1,300 on the ground and 700 in the air. But I can't see the Raiders doing anything if they don't have a competent quarterback. And like I was stating in the previous segment, they don't have Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm. He's definitely going to be a tier 2 quarterback because he's not going to be able to make those opportunities happen. Thoughts?
Man, Josh Jacobs for me, man. I'm gonna have to put him in that top tier, man.
Okay.
Top tier. Josh Jacobs, man, he was all world. he was all world, man. And this is the one thing I'll say about the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, it's the one thing I'll say about the Las Vegas Raiders. They ain't have that good of a quarterback last year. Okay. They didn't have that good of a quarterback last year. Okay. I'm gonna say that. Okay. It wasn't that good. Okay. Okay, so he was able to do that well in spite of the lack that he had at the quarterback position. Yes, could the guy throw, yada yada yada, whatever. But there were no W's. There were more L's than W's, okay? And those weren't no lessons. Those were losses, okay? Those were losses. So
are you saying
that's kind of how I feel.
Are you saying that Derek Carr is worse than Brian Hoyer?
I'm saying that Derek Carr, for who we thought he was, is worse than Brian Hoyer based on what we thought he was supposed to be, based on his expectations.
Damn.
Based on his expectations, he was supposed to play a whole lot better than what he played. Brian Hoyer came into the league as a backup. He's always been a backup. So we've never expected any more of anything else from him. So I mean, that's kind of how I feel.
Well, you see how I got it. Look, Josh Jacobs, you got him as a top tier. I got him as a top tier if Jimmy G is healthy. If he ain't, then he's a tier 2 with his production. Tony Pollard, we already talked about him. Here's Vaughn's right here. Highlighted.
Yeah. Wait. I didn't have him at 7. I had him at 4.
I thought you said tier 7.
No, man. I was saying round 7. I was saying round.
Oh, okay, round 7. I thought you had him at tier 7. I was like, Jesus.
No, man, I ain't saying tier 7.
I honestly thought he was just Tony Pollard. I literally thought that's what he did, and I was just like this. Yeah, that's my reaction, Davon, right there. I thought he was just coming with the straight disrespect. I mean, I'm the disrespectful one, obviously, in this group. But let's continue down the list. We're at number 8 for their list. Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb, man, dude. I'm a big fan of Nick Chubb.
Yep.
I personally like Nick Chubb a lot. Man, I'd have to put Nick Chubb in tier 2, man. I got him in tier 2. I got Chubb at tier 2, man.
Why you got him at tier 2? Let me see the rationale for it.
I mean, you know, the tier 1 list is getting crowded, man. It's getting very crowded.
4 people.
I mean, it's getting very crowded. Look, guys, like the cream of the crop, man. You know, the cream of the crop, guys. And so somebody's going like here's the thing, man. It's like it's kind of like the LeBron and Jordan, debate or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets so disrespected whenever their guy is put at number 2. It's like, God, we're talking about you're the second greatest player to ever play the game. How is that disrespectful? I don't understand. How is that disrespectful? Like, I mean, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose, somebody got to be in tier 1, and somebody got to be in tier 2. It's just the way it is.
I thought you were about to hear that song. Somebody's got to win, somebody got to lose.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, man, Nick Chubb. Look, man. If Nick Chubb is available for me to draft, I'm gonna draft him with no hesitation.
What round?
Man, dude, I'm thinking Chubb. Chubb is really truly like a. To be honest, I believe Chubb is a second to third round guy, late second, early third round guy. I feel like.
Yeah. That's about where I was going to draft him, like mid to late second round. If he's on the board and you still need a running back of quality, then he's going to get the touches because they don't have. Gosh, why does he? He's just in my head.
You talking about Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, they don't have Kareem Hunt there. I mean, and I don't even think who's that third string that always just shows up when like everybody's hurt. Johnson. That's his name. Dearness Johnson. That's it. Dearness Johnson. The only reason I know him because I would pick him up when both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb were hurt, and he would show out. I remember that one game he just showed the out. Won me my league that week. So I think Dearness plays for somebody else now, though. If I'm not mistaken. So yeah. I don't even know. We'll look at later on down when they get to their division, and see where everybody is. But yeah, I can kind of agree with you with Nick Chubb. From a PPR standpoint, he's not known as a pass catching running back, but he will be a solid play because he gets as many touches, so he will get you the points.
Mm-hmm.
So I can agree with you on that. No controversy there. No controversy there. All right, next on the list. We got Ramondre Stevenson over Derrick Henry. Woo! Oh, man. That is something else right there. Ramondre Stevenson. Did he show out enough last season to put him in a... I'm going to put him in tier 2, to be honest with you. Tier 1, nah. Tier 2, yes. But Derrick Henry? And tier 2 is getting crowded now. We're looking at this thing right now.
Me personally, dude, for me, man, Ramondre Stevenson is not a tier 2 back, man. He's not a tier 2 back for me. Like, there's guys below him on this list that I would put above him.
You gonna put Bijan? You gonna put Bijan above him?
I wouldn't put Bijan. Okay, above him, okay? Because Bijan, he hasn't even played. Played.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, Ramondre, he has to go tier 3 for me, man. He got to go tier 3.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna do some stats over feelings because I gotta I got to be convinced if I'm going to ride on the same boat as you. I'm disrespect train.
Look, man. Look, guys. Everybody ain't gonna be the best back in the league, guys. I'm sorry.
There's only
Look,
very few spots to be on the top.
look, put up better stats than Austin Eckler and Christian McCaffrey, and then we can start talking. But I don't think he's gonna be doing that.
All right. So Ramondre Stevenson, 2 years in the league. He averaged 14.7 fantasy points per game in PPR. He got 1,000 yards rushing and 421 yards in the air. And he got a total of 6 touchdowns. But I'm agreeing with you now because I'm looking at his stats. His big thing that's the outlier, he had 4 fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
4 fumbles. And I can agree with you more because the Patriots offense is not as prolific as we would think because who the hell is the quarterback? Is it Zappy or is it freaking Matt Jones? I don't know.
I mean, the quarterback. It's gonna be Mac Jones. Mac Jones is gonna be the quarterback. But yeah, man, like he's yeah.
I'm gonna go with Ramondre. I'm gonna agree with you on the tier 3. If I had to pick him in a round, it'd probably be late round 3. Late round 3. Just if I needed some kind of. It has to be after I pick like my 2 starting running backs. That'd be after I pick my 2 starting running backs. And so that wouldn't even be around 3. They'll probably be around late round 4, early 5.
Yeah, because you probably have a receiver. You probably have a receiver in there. You'd probably grab.
That's round 1. So round 1 is a pass catching running back. Round 2, receiver. Round 3, another running back. Round 4, a QB, a high ranking tier 1 QB, or another running back. And then I'll start working on wide receivers. So, yeah. Yep. All right. Fair. We'll go down. Breece Hall is number 11, by the way, guys. But we already got him ranked in our tier 2. We sticking with that one?
Yeah. I'm sticking with that. Yeah.
I can stick with it too. Derrick Henry, the man, the myth, the legend. You know, Derrick Henry. He has defied all laws of nature, especially in the NFL. His performance has been consistent over the last 3 years? Yeah, he's been pretty good the last 3 years. I'm gonna look at his stats real quick to verify it. But has he fallen off the top tier ranking list?
Based on his age, man, and based on his production, he has. And I'm telling you, man, look, man, he's all Tennessee's got, man. And I'm telling you, man, when you are a running back and you're taking all those hits, even though Derrick Henry is just that guy and he's just so strong, he's so big, even he can only take so many hits. So I'm just concerned about Derrick Henry as far as like how many more years is he going to be in the league? And
oh God,
how many more years?
This man trying to force retire Derrick Henry. God damn.
I'm concerned, man. Like seriously, man. How many more years are you going to be drafting Derrick Henry as a top 3 running back in fantasy? How many more years are you going to? Like, let's just be honest. Like, look, guys. You see, man, I love Derrick Henry as a running back. I love the dude. I do. But I understand, man, Father Time is undefeated. And if you're the only option, and if your quarterbacks are suspect, especially with Will Levis back there, and you gotta carry the ball 30 times, like, can Derrick Henry still carry the ball 30 times a game?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
Fair. I mean, like, I'm looking at this stuff real quick. You know, fantasy data is my favorite place to go for that. His top season was in 2021. I think that's regarding fantasy points, and that was standard. Let's go to PPR. Keep on having to forget. Still, his top season was 24.2 fantasy points per game. Now he had his lowest yardage, but you know, he's coming off of 2020 with his 2,000-yard rushing total season. You know, very few people have been able to do that ever. And then he regressed a little bit because he missed games in 2021 due to injury. But in 2022, he showed his ass again. He got 1,500 yards on the ground and nearly 400 in the air with 13 touchdowns, which is, you know, a round of applause for that. You know, you're doing this. Averaging 18.9 fantasy points per game. So he did very comparable, I mean, to his 2020 season. Less yardage, but still fantasy production was pretty on top. The thing I'm concerned about when I looked at these stats, though, is the amount of fumbles he had. I mean, he had 6 fumbles last year. I'm kind of going to agree with you. I'm going to put him as a tier 2. Just because of age being the primary factor and the amount of tools they have at Tennessee, I just don't see it. I mean, he's 29 years old. He's getting up there as a running back. You know, running backs usually only last 3 years in the league at peak performance. I think the wheels may fall off, man.
Yeah, man. And I'm just saying, man, like, look, man, like, hey, man, look, you said yourself, you said that you gotta have help at the quarterback position. That's why you had cause to pause when you were talking about Josh Jacobs and the Raiders, right?
Yep.
Does Will Levis excite you? Does Will Levis like as a defensive coordinator, does Will Levis keep you up at night? Is he going to be one of the ones keeping you up at night? Probably not, guys. I don't think so.
Will Levis, I'm just like this. You know, he's not really. Yeah, he's not really the person I imagine taking him. And we still got a question about that. So we're gonna run through these AFCs real quick. You know, let me pull up the roster stuff because we need to see what these teams talking about this season. So, round of applause for that segment. For your knowledge, I will be posting these tier rankings on to the pages. I'm gonna make a nice little graphic.
For the record, so y'all know this. For the record, Kenneth Walker III should be above Bijan Robinson.
We gonna get into that next week. Hey, we gonna get into that next week.
Look, whoever made this list, man, forget you. That's just all I'm gonna say. Forget you. Okay, whoever made this list, damn. I don't know what you got going on, but it's trash. It's trash.
Oh my God!
It's trash. Okay, it's trash.
Hey, the score is like this, man.
What more do you want from me?
Hey, that's what the score said to you right now. All right, enough of our joshing. We're getting close to the hour mark. You know, we try to keep things very, very short and brief since, you know, people don't like to pay attention too long. AFC South analysis. That's where we're going right now. So AFC South. And thanks to another tool I use, Our Lats, you know, good website. I get all my reference material from. We're going to look at the depth charts this week. So, you see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are down to the AFC South, which looks like a bunch of garbage. So this should be fairly quick. I'm just saying, man. Hey, I'm just looking at the AFC like, you know, AFC South like this, man. It doesn't look too hot in these streets. I mean, there's some potential there, but you're potentially talking about three rookies starting on these teams. You see that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
That's why I say, look, let me go to full screen real quick before so I can talk this disrespect. Jacksonville Jaguars. Before I even start with the analysis, if y'all don't win the AFC South, your coach should be fired. Let's just let it put it like that. Because I don't see any way that any of those other three teams in the AFC South can match up with what you have on that team.
I agree. I agree 100%. I agree.
Somebody should be fired if y'all don't win the AFC South. With that talent that you have on there, with what we saw from Calvin Ridley, what we saw from Trevor Lawrence at the back end of the season, Evan Ingram coming back, doing his thing. That's all I got to say. All right. Now that disclaimer's out there, and now that I shared my testimony, let's get back into talking about the AFC South. Is there anything entertaining to you with the AFC South on?
I'm telling you, man, Jacksonville is a team that I believe is going to be very good. I think they're going to be a very, very good team. You know, they're the clear favorite, as you said. If they don't win the division, you know, somebody has to be fired. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Somebody has to be let go because there's no
shit.
world. No way in the world.
Fair.
No way in the world.
We're gonna run down this list real quick. All right, so Tennessee Titans. That's the first one I got on the list. I got a few questions, you know, in my little list. All right, you know, same coaching staff, you know, Traylon Burks, Nick Akeem Westbrook, and Kyle Phillips. I mean, this receiving core sucks ass. Let's just start with that. Potential in the receiving core. But I remember Kyle Phillips started to show out a little bit last year. Traylon Burks was supposed to be the number one guy, but he got hurt. And Nick Akeem Westbrook, they really didn't show up, I don't believe. So, receiver core doesn't look too great. They drafted a couple players that I'd never heard of and probably will never hear unless they show up. Got tight end, Okonkwo. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I heard a little bit about him. There were some rumblings, and he had a couple good games. Didn't really excite me at all. But this is what I'm focused on right here. Who gonna be the quarterback? Because this guy should be in the league. I'm just gonna say that. Malik Willis, congratulations for making it to the NFL. But you will not be a starter ever again. I'm just gonna point that out there. Agree?
Oh yeah, Willis.
Oh yeah.
No.
That was a failed experiment. Tannehill or Will Levis? Who will be the starting quarterback? I mean, and who do you think will be best for fantasy?
I think
will be better in fantasy. Let's just say.
I think week one, Ryan Tannehill will be the starter week one. Me personally. As far as like who do I think will be better from a fantasy perspective, I think Ryan Tannehill would be better from a fantasy perspective. I do think that before the season is over, you'll see Will Levis. Okay. Should you have him on your team? No, you should not. He should not be on your team. He should only be on your team starting. Like desperation, guys. Desperation. Like you need to be in a horrible position to have him as your quarterback. Okay, horrible.
Basically, he's saying if your starter is out for the season or injured for a long extended period of time, other teams have picked up quarterbacks just to play defense against you. and Tannehill is hurt too and out for the season, should you pick up Will Levis and then throw him back into the waiver wire? Ain't no way in hell I'm picking up Will Levis. Ain't no way. And it might come to bite me in the ass. What if Will Levis comes and shows out?
I mean, look. If he comes and he shows out, that's fine. I'm not gonna lose any sleep at night because I didn't draft him. I promise you, I'm not losing no sleep over that.
It's a fair comparison. What if he's the Nvidia the Nvidia trade?
That's disrespectful to Nvidia.
Applause for me, but really, I'm just like, I should have said that. It's disrespectful. I agree with you though. I think Tannehill will still be a higher producing fantasy quarterback compared to Will Levis. Unless Will Levis just pulled that thing out on him. We kind of already talked about my second question concerning Derrick Henry. We both kind of feel that, with his age, he's dropped down from a tier 1 to a tier 2 in our books. That I think the wall is going to come. The NFL wall is going to come. He's going to have not a significant decline, but it will be a decline. He's not going to put out the production that you've seen in previous years because that wear and tear, man. He's spent 6 years in the league. He's going to 7 years to running back. So,
yeah, man. I mean, the problem is, man, is that he's not gonna have any help. He's not gonna have any help.
Like we were talking about before, they're gonna load the box. I mean, who is Hassan Haskins? I hadn't even heard of him before.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Defense. I mean, we really don't be concerned about that. Defenses are a dime a dozen. We're on the offensive side this time. So Tennessee, looking at where would you rank them? Because we obviously got Jacksonville top of the division. 2, 3, or 4. Where you got Tennessee?
Man, I really don't want to do this, but I am. I'm gonna, and like I said, man, hey, man, whatever. I'm
shuffling right now. He's shuffling.
I'm gonna put Tennessee, man. I'm gonna put Tennessee at 3, man. I'm putting them at 3.
Honestly, that was what I was thinking. Yeah. So who's gonna be number 2 and number 4 of these next 3 teams? I mean, next 2 teams that we cover because we know number 1. Let's look at the Colts next. Let's bring up the Colts. All right. Yeah, we'll run through this one. We got Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, and Isaiah McKenzie. Oh, I didn't know he was there. Okay, Buffalo definitely shit. I guess after all those drop balls, they're like, yeah, we gonna drop your ass.
Damn.
Receiving core is mid. It's what the young folks would say, right? I'm using the right context. Mid.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the receiving core. Yeah, they mid. I don't see.
To me, low mid.
Damn. Oh shit. Oh yeah, low mid.
Oh my
God. Yeah, I don't. Michael Pittman is obviously the wide receiver 1, but his production obviously is tied to Anthony Richardson. They have Gardner Minshew there. What?
Oh my God!
Now is Gardner Minshew?
It's my quarterback.
Is that Gardner Minshew?
Man, guys, look, guys. If I was the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson would be my starter. I'm not gonna lie to you. It would not be Gardner Minshew. It wouldn't. Here's the thing, man. Look, guys, there's no secret, guys. We're in the South, guys. We're in the South, guys. And we watch a lot of SEC football, y'all. And I've watched Anthony Richardson a lot.
Yeah.
Over this last year, I watched him a lot. He left a lot to be desired. Okay. I understand the vitriol that everybody is giving. Look, I understand everybody's calling him the biggest bust since Jamarcus Russell and all these things. I understand. But me personally, I'm rooting for the guy. I really am. I'm rooting for him. And I hope that he's at least respectable enough to at least have earned the first round, earned where he was in the first round. That's kind of where I feel.
Hey,
The problem is
all right.
is that he does not have anything around him to really truly help him. For he doesn't have anything around him. Okay. His wide receiving core is low mid at best. Low mid. And we gotta try to give you that. We gotta try to give you that designation. So I mean, look, man, the Colts, man, they just ain't good. They just ain't good.
They're gonna be everybody's fun team to play. The game that you need to get something out on. Frustrations after getting whooped by the Chiefs, get whooped by the Jets, get whooped by those top tier teams. You take all your aggression out on the Colts this season. This running back core, it sucks. Besides Jonathan Taylor, I mean, yeah, Tennessee and Indianapolis have the same situation. Honestly, they literally have the same kind of roster right now. Just my brief look at it, nothing to be desired. Not really wanted to invest my fantasy money into it.
Not at all.
I'm sick, and since I made you put the pressure on you to pick, I'm gonna say first where I want to rank these Indianapolis Colts. I'm gonna rank them at the bottom of the division.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're at the bottom. They're at the bottom.
Yeah. I was thinking that as well.
Yeah, they're gonna have a pretty bad season, guys. They're not gonna be above, yeah, they're not gonna be above 500. It's gonna be awful. But oh well, not my team. Let's move on to the Houston Texans, and then we're gonna, glorify Jacksonville Jaguars. This is my favorite pick in my sleeper right now. John Mechie III. He's my pick. Robert Woods? He's with Tennessee? Boy, stop. Did not know that. Robert Woods. He's from Tennessee to Houston. All right. Cool. Yeah, John Mechie III is my interesting sleeper pick for wide receiver. Mostly because he is a solid wide receiver. I mean, fortunately, he's recovered from, he had leukemia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this receiving core still mid. They're mid. The only bright thing, Devin Singletary is down here in Houston. Oh Lord, damn. Buffalo just said, "Fuck you." David Pierce is the shining star and potentially a CJ Stroud if he can pull it together. Case Keenum. Oh my God, they just giving away money. They just give away money.
Give me my money.
But yeah, the only bright shining facts are those three players: Damian Pierce, CJ Stroud, and John Mechie. I think with CJ Stroud, if he can take a good handle on the offense pretty quickly, maybe like mid-season, and gets a handle on it. He can be a good game manager. He can start building up towards what we anticipate for him to be as a top-tier quarterback. But this first year is just going to be some growing pains. Dalton Schultz will be his main target of choice. So Dalton Schultz could be one of those tight ends you can pick up way late. Do not pick up Dalton Schultz early. Remember, tight ends are not a part of your draft strategy. No tight end.
Correct.
Any additions to my commentary?
I'm telling you, man, I think that Houston is going to be a team that I believe is going to surprise a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Are they a playoff team? No, but they're going to be respectable. I really truly feel that they're going to be respectable. I believe in D'Amico Ryans as a first-year head coach. I really do.
Yep.
I like what they did in getting CJ Stroud and then doubling back and getting Will Anderson on the defensive side. I like what they did there. So I think this is going to be a team. This is going to be a team that's got something to play for, and you're going to see that this team is very, very talented. You're going to see the talent that's going to have on that they're going to have on this team.
Wait, you missed out the main thing this team is going to have. They're going to have that hunger.
Definitely.
They're young and hungry. So I agree with you. That's why we got them at number 2 in the division. Like I said, I think CJ Stroud's going to go through some growing pains, but if he can live up to what he did in Ohio State, then he, with the weapons that he does have with John Mechie, Nico Collins is pretty good. I mean, he's not terrible. Robert Woods, he should be out the league.
He's on the back 9, man.
Yeah, he's done. He's done. But I think that John Mechie is my sleeper. A lot of people aren't talking about him. We know from personal experience, being Auburn graduates, the pain of John Mechie III to Auburn. And if dumbass, who's up there in Detroit that was gambling? God damn it!
You talking about Williams?
Jameson Williams. Yeah, we saw how much of a terror those two were when they were at Alabama. And then that dumbass had, done his thing, I would rank Jameson Williams higher. That's why I kind of believe in what John Mitch is going to bring to the table. But that's just my thoughts. We already have mentioned our ranking. They're going to be number 2 in the division. But the number 1 in the division will be this fantastic team. Round of applause for robbing Atlanta of its pride and joy. Calvin Ridley. Yeah. This receiving core is going to be a problem. You got, second, third year for Trevor Lawrence. He's getting it all together. You got this is a good 3-back. I mean, JaMychal Hasty wasn't a slouch when Travis Etienne was getting worked back in. Evan Ingram is finally showing up. Man, I mean, there's not much else I can say. I've bragged about Jacksonville Jaguars enough. Not much I can say. I'm just like, yeah. Floor is yours, man. There's nothing more I can say about Jacksonville. They have all the tools and weaponry to make this a good playoff contending team.
I mean, they're the clear number 1 team in the AFC South. Trevor Lawrence is really coming into form as a very, very quality quarterback. They've got good running backs. They have a solid wide receiver group. This is not a mid group, guys. This is not a mid group. This is a solid group. Okay. You've got, like I said, man, I believe the defense is probably hungry. So when I think about this team, man, they won a playoff game last year. This is a team right here that could sneak up on you and win a couple of playoff games. This is what I'm going to say.
Man.
This team right here has the potential to win a couple of playoff games, guys.
I mean, that comeback. They got that comeback in them. I mean, I was like,
Damn.
when they came back, who did they play when they came back? Like,
They played the Chargers.
yeah, when they came back
27-0. Do
Yeah,
you know how many single games and how many parlays were destroyed? Okay, when they came back.
yeah, they got that good comeback game. So I see it in them. They got firepower. They got the leadership of Trevor Lawrence that don't give up. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a good, interesting group. And like I said, they got good backups all around when it comes to talent, especially in the running back. I mean, I also mentioned this. Marque made a joke of it. I said this last week. Tank Bigsby, if he's still on the board, I'm probably going to pick him up in the later round.
I'm telling you, man, that's a sleeper situation, man.
I got 2 sleepers. I'm giving y'all the juice right now. Look, I don't like to do this. Because it's playing against me, because I got to play against these guys. I talk with every week. But it's for the podcast. I'm giving y'all the juice. The Tank Bigsby is going to be one of my sleepers. And I'm going to come out with a sleep. Look, I'm going to even do it better. I'm going to come out with a sleeper list. Players that have interest me, I'm going to put them out there. But, yeah, man. That is all I have, man, for regarding this podcast. We have gone on. We have talked. We have fellowshipped. We have communed. And we've had a good podcast. We missed out on with our boy, brother Marque. He was out here, enjoying the premiere of Spider-Man, which I am jealous of. But
young, wild and free.
I know, man. Hey, gotta enjoy life. But on that note, thank you for listening to the Fantasy Cookout! Hey guys, appreciate you listening. Like and subscribe on YouTube, IG, TikTok. I'll be releasing content all throughout the week like I usually do. Please comment on things you want to hear. And remember to always listen to the Trade for Yourself podcast every day. Davon, he holding out. He ain't holding out on y'all. Hey, there's still time to catch on. There's always opportunities in the market. He's going to lead you down right now. So
yes, sir.
Listen, like, subscribe, comment. Tell him what you want to listen. Tell him what you want to know. And he'll do the research. Because he cares. He cares about giving you that knowledge. So, on that note, the next week, guys. Peace.